Abort, 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 abort the mission. And I'm plumb worn out. Forgot that I put my knee pad back in my pack. That's good enough, ain't it? Doesn't have to be perfect. It's over the fire, ain't it? For hardly no prep and it being soaking soggy wet out here, that wasn't too bad. That's all I needed. I just needed a little fire to heat up a little bit of water. It's not too awful bad for like little to no prep on my fire. Get over there a little bit. Let me bring that fire over to the... See that? Nothing to it. I started out going down to the lake to see if I could find a knife that I lost about excuse me for that. To look for a knife that I lost about 3 years ago. When I got out here, I found that they've been logging the road from, well, they've been logging the whole entire area from the road about 3 miles into the lake, all downhill. And we had a big rain a couple days ago, and everything is just soaking wet. And so I got about halfway to the lake and had mud caked all up to my ankles on my boots. and decided to abort the mission. I'm aborting the mission. Abort. Because all the way downhill, I gotta walk all that back up in the mud, back to the truck. So I'm gonna take the canoe, and I'm gonna canoe to the backside of that lake and up the creek where I lost that knife. I know exactly where that knife is sitting. I know exactly where that knife is sitting, and I'm going to get it. I think I'm gonna have to bring a metal detector out there, because I've actually went back there and looked for it a couple times, and I know it's in a low spot. Back up this creek, there's a low spot by a tree, and I know that's where I dropped it, but I can't find it. So my plan was, this lake's been low all summer. Both lakes out here have been low, and I was thinking that maybe it would be low enough to where that area was dried up. That creek bed maybe is dried up at this point. I thought maybe I would get lucky and find it. Anyway, it's not going to happen today. I'm aborting the mission. Abort. I'm aborting the mission. That's it. That's all the fire I needed right there. I just heard some machinery start up the hill. The way I came by a bunch of loaders, and on the way down the logging road. When I came in today, I talked to a ranger, and he told me that probably technically I wasn't supposed to be on this logging road because it was there was logging in progress, even though there was nobody here today because we got a bunch of rain. But he didn't have a problem with me taking it down to the lake. But again, technically I'm probably not supposed to be here. I'm going to go ahead and hike out, and I'm probably going to try and bypass the loaders and the equipment up the road here. Maybe cut through the woods or something. I don't think I'll have a problem, but I hate to have to kick the crap out of a bunch of loggers just because I'm walking by. You know how it is. I'm trying to get my boot unstuck. But there's why I aborted the mission. I'm not going to get too many shots like that climbing out of here in the mud. It's too much work. That wasn't too bad. Passed a fellow on a loader on my way out. He gave me a big wave and a big smile. So apparently they don't care that I'm on that road. My biggest problem was these boots. Haven't worn these since last winter sometime, and they were starting to rub the back of my heels raw. Otherwise, it wasn't too bad of a hike. So I just spent the last hour talking to the owner of the logging company. He met me back up at the gate. He's the guy that I passed on the loader on the way out. I was cleaning my boots off and he pulled back up to the gate. We got to talking, and really interesting guy. We talked about, you name it, tree species, the eagle's nest that's right in that specific area that he's logging, that I was hiking, bobcats, panthers, coyotes. He was telling me about the 2 bears that traveled through Indiana. Well, Corydon, one, I guess they split up, and one was traveling through the Corydon area, which is where he was from, and one was seen up around Louisville, I think. So the one traveled through Louisville, and one went through Corydon to the Bedford area, I think he was saying. Real interesting conversation, really nice guy. Talked about hunters that the aggressive hunters that he has to deal with while logging. Chainsaws, boots, coveralls. It's amazing the conversation you can have. He asked me about what's in my truck, carrying a gun, and whether he should carry a gun in his line of work. He said he has more trouble with hunters than anything else. He said that his wife has really been bugging him about carrying a sidearm for a while now, and he didn't feel the need to, other than he actually said there's been several times he's been spooked in the woods, and started thinking about possibly running up against somebody with a marijuana patch or something, or a disgruntled hunter he deals with all the time. It's the 2-legged predator, I guess he said, that he worries the most about, and that's why he had just recently been thinking about carrying a handgun. So we talked about that, what's in my truck. It's amazing the length of conversation you can have with a guy that just is interested in what you're doing. We talked about turkey hunting, turkey ticks, hikers. Most of the hikers that he encounters is in the summertime, and a lot of times they'll come up right where they're working and set up their camp. He seemed to think that was odd, that a hunter or a hiker will come up right where they're logging. He said 30 yards from them and set up a tent or set up a deer stand. I'm going to say that today wasn't a failure, even though I had to abort my mission, my retrieval mission to find my knife, because I met a really interesting guy and got to spend an hour chatting with a complete stranger about all kinds of different stuff. It was really an interesting conversation. I just realized that I never ate anything when I was out in the woods. I said I was going to make some breakfast, and I didn't do it. All I did is boil a little water, and I drank 3 cups of coffee, and then I left. I'm starving.